All right, hey Chipola Nation, we're here with Coach Donnie Tyndall of the Chipola Indians. How you doing, Coach?
I'm doing great, B. How are you?
Fantastic, fantastic.
Good.
So got a big week of basketball coming up, starting tonight. We're taping this on Wednesday, December 8th. Who we got tonight?
We've got Andrews College, who has a new coach, but a very good program. The new coach there, you can tell they're structured, they're disciplined, they're playing the right way, and their record isn't great, but it's not bad either.
Okay.
And I think it'll be one of those games that we've got to become prepared, ready to play, and we're going to have to go win the game because Andrews College doesn't beat themselves. They're that type of team.
Okay, all right. So big game tonight at 7 o'clock on Wednesday, December 8th. Then this weekend, Friday and Saturday, December 10th and 11th, the Panhandle Classic.
Yep.
And who we got coming in for that, Coach?
Well, Gadsden State on the first night, which is Friday, up-tempo, press you, get after you type of team. So should be an exciting game for our fans. And then the next night, we play Jones Junior College out of Mississippi, who is undefeated. They're 8 or 9-0 at the current time.
Okay.
They're getting votes in the country. They're 9th or 10th in another poll in the country. So it's a very good basketball team. I think it'll be, if I had to say in our league, maybe like a Tallahassee, a Pensacola.
Okay.
Good athletes that are going to play hard, have some size on their front line. So it's going to be a big week of basketball here at Chipola.
Great. And also in the Panhandle Classic, we've got games at 1, 3, 5, and 7 every day. So come out Friday and Saturday to see a lot of good action. The Lady Indians and the Indians, and then some other Panhandle teams will be here as well.
Yep.
Coach, let's talk about the polls. We're fortunate to be number 1 in the Region 8 state poll, and then number 3 in the national poll.
Well, you know, like we always talk about with rankings, they're nice, the fans get excited, but at the end of the day, you still got to go out and play the games.
Right.
And last year, I keep telling our team, you know, we were picked 4th out of 5 in the Panhandle, 10th in the state, and did what we did. So,
Right.
so polls don't mean a whole lot, but it is nice to have the notoriety and show that people respect us and our program. But we know Panhandle play. Once that thing starts, you could go 12-0. You can go 0-12. It's that.
Absolutely.
It's that easy.
It is interesting, Coach, that in the Region 8 state poll, we've got Chipola, Northwest in 3rd, we've got Gulf Coast in 6th, Tallahassee in 7th. So, you know, 4 out of the 5 teams right there in the top 10 teams in the state.
4 of them in the top 7, really.
Yeah,
So it just speaks volumes as to how good this league is. There's great coaches across the board, great players. I've seen about every team in the Panhandle play in person, and I'm telling you, like I just said, you could win, but you can get beat on any given night. The teams are that good across the board.
Right. So, Coach, after the Panhandle Classic, we've got you're going to hit the road and play 3 games at Enterprise, and then a couple of games at Gulf Coast after Christmas.
Right.
So, how long are you giving your kids off?
Well, we're going to let them leave the 19th. They've got to be back the morning of the 26th because we're going to practice that evening. So it's going to be about a week window for them to get home, spend some time with their families. And then, just as you mentioned, before the break, our last game is at Enterprise State, who has played some very good teams, very close. Shelton State, who was ranked in the top 10. They only got beat by Shelton State by 3. So it gives you an idea of the talent in that game. And then 2 great games over with Phil and his program at Gulf Coast, where we're playing in their classic. And then you're right there the first week of January. You're starting conference play, Brian.
Man, that is crazy. Now, we were talking to Coach Franklin a little earlier today about kids leaving. You know, you've got them here where you want them. They're sleeping in the dorm. They're eating in the mess hall. That you got them for practice, you know, all the time. They're studying. And then you're going to turn them loose and let them go home for a week. Is that a concern?
Yes. I'm sure I'm going to echo what Coach Franklin said, but absolutely it is. The biggest thing, I guess, 2 concerns. It's always getting them back on time.
Right.
Sometimes because of their situation or them not handling their business.
Right.
Other times weather, because we've got some kids on the East Coast that sometimes the flights are delayed, and we have such a short period of time before we play on the 30th that guys can't afford to miss practice. So that's a concern. And then the other thing is just guys that want to go to the gym and get a workout in or play some pickup ball, and God forbid they roll an ankle or get hurt, and now you come back and they're missing time as we're getting ready to start conference play. So
Right.
as a coach, you never stop worrying.
Exactly.
But certainly when they're here, at least you can control some things they do.
Right.
When they leave and they're back home for a week,
Yeah.
it's nerve-wracking.
Right. Well, one positive that Coach G mentioned was getting a few days off to recuperate and rest up from the grind because we have been in a grind ever since October. We've been playing a lot of ball games, a lot of practice every day.
Yeah, it's one of those things I always tell people, like, I haven't worked a day in my life. For us, it's a passion. It's a job, but it's a passion, so it's not really work. But for the young kids, you can imagine their first year, a lot of them out of high school.
Right.
The physical practices, the pace in which you practice, then you're playing in the early season jamborees and long 3-hour, 4-hour practices. It does wear them down a little bit.
Right.
So it's nice for them to go home and get refreshed, and I guess the young Donnie Tyndall would have never taken a break, but I'm going to take a couple days and go home and see my mom and dad and my family, so that's going to be good. And I guess maybe it helps us get rejuvenated, although I don't have a big problem with that.
Okay. Coach, what do you think about your team so far? Are you glad about the chemistry? Are you glad about the motivation? Let's talk about the entire team. How you feeling about it?
Well, I love our team for a few reasons. We've got some leadership with guys like Carlos Lemos and Lance Irving that are really taking some of the younger guys under their wing and helping them grow and develop. So I think we have good leadership. That's always important. I love the depth of our team. We're literally 2 deep at every position, some positions 3 deep. So that's good for the way we play in our system and our style of play. The biggest concern for me is we have not had one day the entire fall yet, Brian, where our entire team has been healthy to practice. We just got Dante Walker back. The last game we played was his first game.
Okay.
Then Achor breaks his hand. He's been out a couple weeks, but he's got a month to go before he returns. Naquan Tomlin was playing great basketball. He sprained his ankle. He missed the last couple games. He's probably going to miss this week's games. So that's the only concern. We have great chemistry. We have great leadership. I think we're talented enough. We're deep enough. It's just, can we get everybody collectively healthy and on the same page?
Right. Well, that week off may help with that. And it's certainly good to hear that we are 2 and possibly 3 deep in a lot of positions because as well as I do, it's next man up. I mean, you got to be ready to go.
You really do, and the pro sports, and especially you watch these football injuries, and you have to have depth or you literally can't survive. But you don't usually get that in college. You got your top 6, 7, 8 guys, and then there's quite a drop off. But we really have 12 or 13 guys where there's not much difference, Brian, from this guy at 1 and that guy at 13.
Right.
So it helps as the coach too. You don't rebound, you don't block out. You don't run the floor. Okay, you must be tired. Come sit down.
Yeah, that's good. That's good, Coach. All right, well, Coach, it looks like we're off to a really good start, and we wish you the best in the Panhandle Classic. And maybe we'll get back together next week before we leave and talk again. But if not, happy holidays and go Indians.
Well, I appreciate it, Brian. Happy holidays to our fans out there as well.